important to him as a survey officer. Perhaps more so, he told himself now, because he understood them to a certain degree and found companionship in their undemanding company, which he could not claim from the man. Why did Thorvald insist upon their going on to the seashore? To Shann's mind, his own first plan of holing up back in eastern mountains was better. Those heights had as many hiding places as the fjord country. But Thorvald had suddenly become so set on this westward trek that he had given in. As much as he inwardly rebelled when he took them, he found himself obeying the older man's orders. It was only when he was alone, as now, that he began to question both Thorvald's motives and his authority. 3 sprigs of a light bush set in a triangle. Shann paused and then climbed out on the bank, shaking the water from his boots as Taggy might shake some drops from a furred limb. This was the sign they had set to mark their rendezvous point, but... Shann whirled, drawing his stunner. The raft was a dark blob on the surface of the water some feet further on, and now it was bobbing up and down violently. That was not the result of any normal tug of current. He heard an indignant squeal and relaxed with a little laugh. He need not have worried about the wolverines. That bait had drawn them all right. Both of them were now engaged in eating, though they had to conduct their feast on the rather shaky foundation of the makeshift transport. They paid no attention as he waded out, pulling at the anchor cord as he went. The wind must have carried his familiar scent to them. As the water climbed to his shoulders, Shann put one hand on the outmost log of the raft. One of the animals snarled a warning at being disturbed, or had that been at him? Shann stood where he was, listening intently. Yes, there was a splashing sound from upstream. Whoever followed his own recent trail was taking no care to keep that pursuit a secret, and the pace of the newcomer was fast enough to spell trouble. Throgs? Tensely the Terran waited for some reaction from the wolverines. He was sure that if the aliens had followed him, both animals would give warning. Save when they had gone wild upon hearing that strange wail from the camp, they avoided meeting the enemy. But from all sounds the animals had not stopped feeding, so the other was no beetlehead. On the other hand, why would Thorvald so advertise his coming, unless the need for speed was greater than caution? Shann drew taut the mooring cord, bringing out his knife to saw through that tough length. A figure past the 3-spring signal ran onto the raft. "Lantee?" The call came in a hoarse, demanding whisper. "Here. Cut loose. We have to get out of here." Thorvald flung himself forward, and together the men scrambled up on the raft. The mangled carcass plunged into the water, dislodged by their efforts. But before the wolverines could follow it, the mooring vine snapped, and the river current took them. Feeling the raft sway and begin to spin, the wolverines whined, crouched in the middle of what now seemed a very frail craft. Behind them, far away but too clear, sounded that eerie howling, topping the sigh of the night wind. "I saw," Thorvald gasped, pausing as if to catch full lungfuls of air to back his words. "They have a hound. That's what you hear." This concludes Chapter 4.